Welcome to Ask the Experts, Part 2, Part dos. That's all I know.
Duo?
Bye.
Duet?
Duo, yes.
Duet? Wow.
Eins bei. Isn't that German, I think?
Bye.
Where's Connor learning German?
We're already off track. So today we're going to talk about our workout routines, what we do, what we're doing now, especially maybe at home, what the meat and potatoes are of our workouts, what our intentions are, what our goals are, and what we want to work on or incorporate more of in our routine. So I have Nick here at my top left, so we'll start with you.
Okay. I'm pretty no frills when it comes to my workouts. I actually work out. I tell people this often. I'm more of a moody workout person. So if I'm feeling really happy and energetic, I'm working out. If I'm feeling kind of stressed or there's something I need to get off my mind or whatever, I work out. If I'm just in the middle of the road, I'm probably busy. So a lot of mine is kind of mood driven, which means I don't consistently work out at a certain time. And I actually feel that for me, that works. I'm a person who enjoys routine, but I'm not married to routine, which is why I think I got into this gig in the first place, because the only thing that's consistent is my inconsistency. So at the beginning of this pandemic, I was just doing a lot of running, so much so that it was too much. So scaled it back, was doing some, still on my feet, walking. And I just stuck with a lot of body weight stuff. From a calisthenics point of view, I like simple, I like effective, I like to get in, get out, get it done, and move it forward. And my goals have always been, I guess I'm lucky in the fact that I'm not working towards a specific goal. I am in this maintenance phase. I'm an old man, so maybe I have to adjust that to geriatric workouts, but I do like just to maintain a consistent modicum of activity and energy expenditure. So I do that. Personally, I'm lucky. There is a gym now available to me. And if I had to pick what I enjoy working the most, I actually really enjoy working off cables. I think cables to me provides a lot of the eccentric, concentric activity, where I don't like doing ab exercises at all. I don't function like that and just do sit-ups. But whenever you're working off the cable, if the resistance is pulling you enough or pushing you enough, you always have to respond to that stimulus. So whether you're doing any kind of movement, if your midsection, if your core, if your glutes, if they're focused and engaged, you're always got the midsection working. So I kind of like that. I would like to, if I'm going to continue on my tangent, I'm not a big Olympic lifter like some of the meatheads in this crew. I would like to learn more, but by the same time, I mean, I kind of know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. It'd be good to learn it, but I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. Well, I think that this past 5-6 months has been a good test of everyone's discipline with the gym, with your relationship with your workout program. So how has the past 6 months changed what you were doing before?
It's a good question, Susan. Well, when it was the beginning and I was just running, it allowed a lot of space for my mind to wander, for everything to kind of slow down. I play sports, I'm a big soccer player. And when things slow down emotionally and mentally, they start to make more sense. There's more clarity. So being as at this time in the beginning was very uncertain, it was a very good time to expand on that and kind of feel centered. So that was a big moment, I think, that helped get me through the beginning. And I think it just crystallizes the mind-body connection that, to me, fitness always was. I didn't get into fitness because I loved reading Muscle Fitness magazine. I did it because I loved it and I had fun. I don't know, isn't that a magazine? I did it because I enjoyed it. and I still enjoy it in my way. So I use it as a mind-body connection. To sound very corny, but yeah, that's what I've learned, is that to me it's a holistic approach.
Hmm. And you said it's not very consistent. Are you working out a certain amount of times per week, or is that consistent, or just the timing each day different?
I think the consistency is that I need to move in some capacity. And
Hmm.
the only times I'm not, I'm clearly resting because I did something, I overdid it the day prior. Or, for example, yesterday was a weekend. It was beautiful, and took a bike ride. It was almost 30 miles. I also stopped about 3 times and had a big bowl of pasta and a cannoli. So that's like a microcosm of maybe how I operate. So the consistency is off my ass, moving in some capacity. I even took a yoga class last week under gale force winds. I almost blew over, and I'm already terrible as it is, but I did get that feeling. And you guys know this very well, because after I walk out of the studio during yoga, I'm like, you could ask me anything, I'll just say yes. I did find that moment of zen afterwards where I felt very calm. And so my consistency is moving consistently in some capacity.
Everyone write that down. Ask Nick questions after
Or
yoga.
yoga.
It's true. It's so true.
I want to know where you get the best cannoli, because I haven't had a cannoli in
So
forever.
Kim, I was right off Bleecker Street yesterday, and I gotta look up my phone, but it was maybe Mario's Pasticceria. I know I got the second word right. I don't know if it was Mario's, but something like Italian. It was great though. Look,
Mm.
if you're gonna have a cannoli, you have to remember that the shell needs to be crispy and that they fill
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So
I'm hungry.
I'll send it out. That's an ask the experts blooper reel.
Okay.
All right, let's move over to Carissa here on my right. We'll go back to the original question.
Okay, so I am still doing at-home workouts. In my home, I have an air bike, a pull-up bar, bands, foam rollers. I don't have a wide variety of weights. So I have 3s, 5s, 10s, and 12s. So I would say that that's the biggest difference between me working out now compared to at the gym, is where I'm used to doing strength training, where I'm, lifting heavier weights, using the bar, using cables. So I'm doing, I guess you could say, more body weight and more of a sculpt, I guess you could say. I also like to do, of course, as we all know, handstand drills. But I also incorporate Pilates and yoga, and I've been trying to do Pilates and yoga almost every single day, one of them. And I'm so thankful that we have such great instructors on our schedule, and that they're able to save their classes to IGTV, and we can just pop on and keep redoing them.
Mm-hmm. So a lot more bands, a lot more body weight. Is there anything that you've learned or that you've stumbled upon in the past few months that you're glad that you found it?
Having the air bike, yes, because I used it a handful of times at different CrossFit boxes, but never, or even one of our sites within +1 has an Airdyne bike. So just being able to have that and incorporate it into my workouts on a more regular basis, and just seeing how tough it is to use your upper body and lower body at the same time, has definitely been something that I'm happy that I purchased and now I have at home now.
Yeah. Is the Airdyne ever easy? Even if you go at minimal pace, it just is a killer workout.
There's some days where I'm like, I'm not going to do an actual, workout of the day or a 4-time or anything like that, where I'm just like, I'm just going to ride it. But it does get tough because you're using your upper body and you have to push back and forth. So it's no matter what. Yeah, it gets you. It's good. It's a good workout.
So what's your daily or weekly routine look like?
Lately I've been trying to get up and do some sort of yoga. I know in the beginning I was getting up and trying to do more foam rolling. And again, now that we have the yoga instructors on IGTV, so I'm taking more advantage of doing an actual class. And then from there, it just depends on how the rest of the day is, if I do some sort of workout right then, or if I do something later in the day. So I wouldn't say I have a consistent time of actually strength training or doing, my body weight exercises, but I am trying to do something on, each day.
Mm-hmm. And anything that you're looking to incorporate into your program that you haven't yet, that you want to do, you just haven't got around to doing it yet?
Yeah, this is, and Kim knows this one where we talk about trying to increase strength in our quads and our hip flexors for being able to hold L-sits and getting higher up in L-sits and just being able to hold your leg parallel with the floor. So it's such a difficult exercise, and it's so hard, and it's definitely something that I want to work more towards.
Nice. I know I'm missing the Kim and Carissa collabs with those yoga poses.
Your bloopers.
I'm trying my best to keep my flexibility up, so when I meet with Kim again, we could go and we could do some amazing poses.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are both kind of in the area.
The Bronx versus New Jersey.
We'll pay for your ferry.
Okay.
Well, let's go down to Kim. Original question.
All right. Well, I'll start with I'm somebody who habitually has way too many goals. I usually have way too many goals. And that's because I like way too many things. I am a dancer, so I'm like, I gotta work on my flexibility and my mobility and all of that stuff. But I also really love deadlifting. So I'm like, I love powerlifting and lifting super heavy, and I have asthma. So I'm like, I hate cardio unless I'm chasing a soccer ball. So, to Nick's point earlier, it's like, what are the things you like to do versus what are the things you probably need to do? And I will say it's a blessing in disguise in that I don't have access to a gym, because when I do, I'm like, I don't need to do the cardio. I'll just do my heavy weights and I'll feel really good about myself and lift super heavy. And I love that kind of working out or that kind of workouts. Those power lifts, get to a new PR, that kind of thing. So pre the last, however many months it's been, I don't even know what day it is. I was doing a lot of powerlifting, but then also going to dance class. So, it kind of worked, but I decided that I really wanted to focus on weight loss, which is a tricky goal for a lot of people, especially people like me who have a history of disordered eating in college as a dancer. It's kind of typical. I didn't want to trigger any of that, but I also had some weight loss goals. So, coming into not having a gym, focusing a little bit more on endurance, cardiovascular endurance, muscle endurance, stuff like that, getting at the overload principle without, 250, 225. I don't have a straight bar. I have about 200 square feet here in New York to work with. I'm lucky in that I do have a pair of 25-pound dumbbells, a pair of 12s, a pair of 5s, lots of bands. And my bar style that I've kind of developed over the last couple of years teaching that class, I have a very, I think, unique way of getting at an overload principle without many weights, because obviously in the bar class, most of the people are using 5s. Some of that is out of a fear of being bulky or getting bulky, but I still get them to get at that overload by including things like isometric holds, pulses, half reps, doing one of my favorite moves that I'll do is I'll use a whole song, or I used to use a whole song and do all 3 rounds of something like a reverse lunge, for example, on one leg without a break, which they hate it. And then I remind them, you have another leg, which is kind of evil, but I love it. So I've kind of incorporated some of that into my personal workouts now. And I've also started running, which is unheard of for me. I went home to Wisconsin, and my sister Heather, who also has a weight loss goal after 3 kids, she's like, okay. She was running, and she's like, I'm super slow. My mile time's like 14 minutes. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'll go with you. I wanted to support her. But that kind of led me to realize, like, when I run as an asthmatic, I tend to like go all out, and then I trigger my asthma, and I'm like, this is stupid. And I get really upset. But going at her pace was actually kind of one of those aha moments for me, like, oh, I don't have to go super speed, especially if I'm trying to go for a longer period of time. So I slowed myself down, and now I'm like running 2 miles without triggering my asthma, which is something crazy. Never thought I'd do it. Like, it's insane. And so balancing, like I said, I'm still lifting. I'm somebody who I have to run first thing after my morning sessions. Otherwise I will not do it. I can walk, but I will not run after that moment. So I usually do my morning sessions. I go for my little run. I come back, I lift my weights, and then I have to do a deep stretch because I'm becoming a grandma and things are starting to break down because of dance and years of that. But that's my routine now. And after, I guess, I don't even know how many months it's been, 8, 10, something around there, I have successfully lost 45 pounds. And it feels pretty damn good. And I haven't triggered any of those, like Nick was saying, that emotional part is so in it. For a lot of us who have used, and I personally have used heavy weights in order to deal with that body image issue. Feeling strong is something that definitely helps me. So I'm happy that I still feel strong. So yeah, that's long-winded, but I got it all in there.
Kimbo, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. In some way, this has been, I think, good for all of us, even if it's a small way, or it just depends on how you look at it. It's forced us all to take a step back and look at what we've been doing, and really forced us to change everything up. So I think that everyone can find a way that it's been good, just to be forced out of the gym and forced into a new routine.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Well, let's go over to you, Peter. Back to the original question, what have you been doing?
Yeah, so kind of before all of COVID started, I was kind of in that Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting phase where, being a college athlete, we did a lot of those lifts with, heavy squats, our hang cleans, deadlifts, all that fun stuff. And then, as we all know, COVID happened, and I don't have a bar at home or anything like that. I just have 20-pound dumbbells and me. So it kind of made me take a step back and, kind of reevaluate, what I've been doing, and kind of made me realize kind of how there's no bad tool in a toolbox. There's just bad ways of using that tool. Right. Mm-hmm. So that kind of opened my eyes to, a bunch of different workouts. I started kind of like Kim, I started running again, which I hadn't, me going on a long distance run was kind of unheard of. I was a sprinter in college, and, just always shied away from it. It was kind of the joke, like, oh, Pete's going for a long run. But yeah, so I really kind of focused more on, being more efficient with my body, and just kind of having a better understanding where I don't really need to push, like Kim said, 200-300 pounds or whatever. I could do a lot with just my body. And it kind of brought my eyes back into HIIT training, kind of basically how I teach my class, and really made me go into more of those quick 20-30 minute workouts where I'm having a really high heart rate and just, being efficient, trying to make those mitochondria more efficient, more dense, all that fun stuff. And as far as my workout schedule, I just try to do something every day, whether it's, HIIT training or going for a run, or maybe it could be, hey, I'm going to go on a pretty hard hike today. Hey, I'm going to go play pickup basketball today with some of my friends, or soccer or anything like that. And just kind of having fun with it, and not just getting stuck into one different thing, and trying, all different kinds of exercise in order to just have fun and move and, like I said, be more efficient.
So with limited space, limited equipment, you've probably have been getting pretty creative with your workouts. What is one of your staple workouts that you do personally?
One of my staple workouts. Well, probably one thing that I kind of revert to automatically is I have this fun little workout where, you know, I'm a young guy. We play a lot of video games, and one thing that I like to do, even though I might be unproductive for a couple hours playing video games, is after every game I like to do a quick little circuit. So game's 20 minutes long, I'll stop. I'll do 20 push-ups, 20 squats, and then with my dumbbells, I'll do a combination of exercises, whether it be like shoulder press or, you know, rows, stuff like that. Just kind of having fun with it, so that even though I'm doing something that I enjoy, just kind of messing around with video games, I'm still, you know, getting in those quick little workouts as I go. And yeah, I'll just do a couple of rounds of that. And, you know, at the end of my 3-4 hour video game session, whatever, I've already done like, you know, 12 sets of, you know, a bunch of exercises. So that's kind of been my staple, and it's been working out pretty well.
That's our ASAP workout.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
ASAP. ASAP meaning a Susan and Pete workout. ASAP. There's quick ones.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna bring that back when we get back to
Definitely.
back on site.
I love that name. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for everyone. What is something that you tell yourself on the regular, maybe each week, every day, maybe, that kind of keeps you insane, keeps you on track when things are getting rough or you're frustrated? Maybe not a quote, but just something that you tell yourself to keep yourself calm and in line.
Oh, good question.
Well, I have one that kind of works for everything, even outside of health and wellness. My mom actually always does this to me because she's the one I call when I'm freaking out about everything. And I kind of hate it in the moment because I'm like, ugh. But it really actually helps. And it's literally, and she literally just asks, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst case scenario here? So, you know, in terms of like goals, when you just don't feel like it, you know, that kind of question, like what's going to happen if I skip this workout? Or what's going to happen if I, you know, for the weight loss specific goal, if I don't have a caloric deficit for the day, like what's the worst that could happen? Is it something that I might need, like take a little break from things and, you know, take a rest day or have some wine or something like that, and then I can be more balanced tomorrow? Or is it, I don't really need it, or I should really do this workout because I know I'm going to feel better after? So it's that kind of like thinking of, all right, what are the options? What are the options and what are the results of those options? Because then you can make an informed decision instead of just like whimsy, you know, going with the wind. And, you know, then you might have a few days in a row where you've done that and you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't an informed decision. That was just going off.
I'm sorry, there is a lot of noise going on. I don't know if someone's like cutting a tree down or a house. Did you hear that?
No,
nope.
good.
All good.
Okay.
I talk loud enough.
All right, anyone else?
Yeah, I got some. So going off that, I kind of always revert back to this quote. It's a Steve Prefontaine quote that I kind of live by. It's to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. So it kind of can be used not only just in working out, but just in life in general. Is if you're doing something, why wouldn't you put your best foot forward or try your hardest? Because what's the point, you know? I feel like if it's doing anything, studying or, you know, working out or just even if you're on a Zoom call, like you might as well be attentive and, you know, giving your best foot forward, because in the end, you know, why would you half-ass something?
Always whole ass it.
Whole ass, exactly.
That's Steve Prefontaine, Peter McGowan.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
You know, it's one thing that I think I've been trying to understand more is that the work day is at 9 to 5, right? You can even steal a little bit from tomorrow by doing it today and give yourself more real estate tomorrow to have fun with it. So I've kind of gone back and forth with either the right time is always now, which means I'm going to get to it and I'm going to plug away and I'm just going to chip away and borrow against tomorrow and do it today. Or if I do feel like it's just not happening, like sometimes I get in a headspace where I'm focused. I think, Susan, you know this best, when I'm shooting you 30 emails one day and then 2 emails for the next 2 days, you'll know what saying I'm going with. I'm either going with tomorrow's a new day and just forgive yourself and it's fine, or the right time is always now. So just flip a coin.
We should name those personalities. We should have Nick and
Nick and Knack.
Nick and Knack. Who's Knack?
The one who waits for tomorrow.
Nick
is in the nick of time. Oh, damn, I'm good today.
Ooh.
See, every once in a while, Grandpa's brain works, but otherwise, I've got a terrible memory.
Carissa?
Being at home, it does get tough, and I'm sure it gets tough for everyone, those of us who work in the gym, those of us who don't or are missing the gym a lot, but something, even if it's small and short, is better than nothing. Even if you're just foam rolling, if it's a 5-minute workout, maybe you just pick one exercise, 2 movements, but getting something in.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. And I think my biggest thing, maybe over the past, 3, 4, 5 years, it was just getting away from the numbers. Your body, your muscles don't know numbers. So just going by how I feel, focusing less on the numbers, the time, the reps, the weight. And that was huge for me to get over that. And I think now it's getting out of my thoughts and being more present. And we're always on autopilot. So everyone has an autopilot, and just constantly, things going on in your head, all these thoughts. So just being able to stop and recognize that and just be aware of the present. And I'm really working on that. That's really hard to do. Yeah. Any final words? We're going to wrap it up here.
Hey, listen, just for the record, you guys are actually definitely the experts. And then I fluff you guys up all the time, but without a doubt, each one of you guys brings a very different skill set and delivery system too. So as always, I appreciate all of you. And Susan, thanks for being our game show host today.
No problem. I wear the hat. So. All right, guys, I will see you next time for Ask the Experts Part 2.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Good, everyone. Get those nice contractions today.